and fought in all cousins. But my people are well represented in Iowa. That is not in the collection, but because I see so many young women here, I'm going to read this poem. And I'm an old dancer. I used to be a ballet dancer, and I can't do that anymore, and I don't have the right body type. But this is called Swan Lake. Swan Lake. Girls in gossamer gowns flit across the stage, little ballerinas in the making, before age and race add weight. Pink tights, light leather shoes strapped on small feet. Before they are conscious of limitations, they all think they are beautiful against the heat of the mirror and balance bar. The instructor plays Swan Lake and says, imagine you are nestled in white feathers and draped tight in white silk. Now see yourself soar across the stage and jump and leap and spin. See how pretty and thin your shoulder blades. Now open your eyes and begin. And all 20 girls run and leap from one end to the other, thinking, yes, yes, this must be how it is to press against the sky and fly. So I was the featured poet for the Latina Monologues for 3 years, from 2009 to 2011. And I learned a few things. And one of them was a voice coach. So if you're aspiring to be a poet, a good way to practice is to do plank, to read your poems in plank, because it engages your belly. And I know we're always taught to suck it in, but you really need to push it out to get some really good momentum. So I was asked by Verse Wisconsin, the poet laureates, to let Oscar have this poem that I'll read in a moment. But I also have a good community. Networking is very important for poets and writers. So I wrote this poem, and it's based on the very first time that the United States actually put money into the arts. This is before the New Deal, and it's based on a painting by a woman who disappeared, but it's called Eyes Alive. Eyes alive. Shimmery light, colors in the day or night, sparkle in the woman's skirt, fire of the atmosphere, red lipstick, metal tube, multi-flock dress, hatless, one delicate shoe rests. What time is it? Cavernous night reaches back, pulls sunshine to the front, fills the void, the emptiness, halo from behind, cab hurtling towards the sun, two women talk, one unmarried, maybe one not, ring hand hidden, eyes eager, shy beneath the hat. Sit close, tell secrets, tales about men, love, and romance. S-curve couples on the left. The man leans in on the compact mirror's reflection, a sneak peek, the heated glance a stranger makes, who is lonely, who sees a young, pretty girl curled over, applying lipstick on the tram, alone and hatless, hence in need of protection or flowers to reflect her beauty back. Dreams between strangers who never know what effect they have. But eyes don't lie. They tell stories untold, desires unknown, passing thoughts, predicament of those with vision, those lucky enough to see. His say to her, pretty lady, look at me. Behind them, a couple with clothes to match but not skin tones share a newspaper. Both sharp, they lean in, heads cocked, read the fine print. They aren't afraid to share space. S-curve grace an inch away. They are comfortable. Her eyes shine black. Across the way, resting his eyes between gigs or home, a musician with a tiny stash holds his violin while sleeping. A professional with a bow tie, white shirt, shiny black shoes and shirt to match, reflects the hues of the car's purple glow, casts him in this timeless role. You can tell class by clothes in this painting. Next to him, several inches away, a man with slanted eyes and sturdy work clothes reads a magazine. His Popeye-like forearms bulge. There is no tiredness here. Though tired bones hold strength, he alone sits on the edge of his seat. Young man, blue shirt, ready for whatever comes next. His sideburns reach the seat like his long fingers. Lovers sit behind him. He whispers sweet nothings into her ear. They aren't wearing hats in this scene. His arm around her, he holds her close. Only they exist, they almost kiss. Her hair shines back at him, her face glows. The woman standing facing them, holding the pole, closes her eyes, pretends not to look, listen, or know, but every part of her is tense from the effort of not looking. There is looking in not looking. Even with lids closed, the eyes reach out from the picture and claim, I am, I was, I did once exist, and this is proof of my existence. They say, don't forget about me or us or my sacrifices. And this is where we come together best, in mass transit. The worst off, the best off, the working girl, the country bloke, the lovers, the musician, the men in hats and suits, the women who know, the men who don't. Here we meet, greet, and saunter through time and space together. Read the paper, rest. All shades, pay grades, and sexes, it makes sense. We are equal here. See what beauty we can make when all is lit up with color, warm and welcoming, beckoning you into the picture, offering you a seat. Thank you. Oscar grew up in Racine, and he didn't know this, but this poem, Nia Class 2013, is based on a dance we did in an old garage that had been converted into a yoga and dance space. So it's kind of a mixture of various places, because in Milwaukee, where I live now, there's a place called Coral Central, and they too offer dance classes and Nia and yoga and free childcare, and a lot of it is in Spanish, the dance classes. So I've been learning over the years in dance class. But it's called Nia. It's dance, it's modern jazz, it's ballet, it's martial arts. It's very good exercise. Called Nia Class 2013, and this is the poem in the book. Nia Class 2013. They arrive, all shapes, sizes, skin color, and ages, from all corners of the city, suburbs too. Rich women, poor women, battered women, women with sin, women without. Scarves and coats are hung, boots stored away in little lockers. They change, go barefoot, enter the studio. Recycled wood floors polished with sweat and many happy feet. They take their places, smile at familiar faces, observe the new. The teacher emerges from her cocoon, clicks her heels, cues the class, focus on joy, joy on the body, the feet, the torso, the spine. Tonight we dine on the TSO, the long-awaited celebratory dance, once a season, creation of Barb, the Nia leader, the teacher, the long reconstructed monkey goddess from Wisconsin. This is the land of contradictions. Mixed hearts take the floor, we start, and the music lifts us. Emotions take over, the bliss of being an old dancer, no longer unsure, no longer competing, but loving the body, blessed knees that bend, ankles that lift and still releve on command, and the strong, strong legs that leap and split in unison, to the music, to the heart's content, when the body wants to sing with the piano, the oompa of the drums, the speed guitar. Oh, I love this so. The women, the dancers, the men, the cross-dressers, the sun shining on in the room. I wait for this every year I've been in Milwaukee. It is a gift. It is a pleasure. It is part of my holiday season. I give thanks to the creator of the dance who shines now on our class, because to move in this community is to know and love the world, and I feel it now as I twirl and jump around the room and sing Merry Christmas to all the people I meet, whether of the faith or not, because it doesn't matter here in this room, this space. Here we are equal. Here we are sisters and brothers, and this is winter. Come summer, we will dance on the roof with the seagulls and the moon and the stars peeping out over the lake. In summer, we will bake. Now our bodies steam with the cold air as we take our leave. Dripping and steaming, we emerge back into the world, sated, refreshed, renewed, glowing with perspiration and peace. Thank you.
I think when I was about 7 years old, so I actually didn't know how to write when 7 years old, but I thought about this poem, and it's called Elvis Presley Was a Chicano. In the latest edition of the National Enquirer, it was revealed that Elvis Presley, yes, the legendary Elvis, was a Chicano. Fans were outraged. Critics cite his heritage as an important influence. I was stunned. Can you believe it? Well, I didn't really at first, but then I remembered his jet black hair, with the little curl in the front, sort of reminded me of my cousin Chewy. And Elvis always wore those tight black pants, like the ones in West Side Story, or a baggy pinstripe zoot suit, Pachuco style, with a pair of blue suede shoes to match. Then I figured, no, he couldn't be. So I traced his story back to his hometown, a little pueblo outside Tupelo, a son of migrant parents looking for a way out of rural poverty. Let's see, Elvis joined the Army. Maybe he enlisted with a group of his buddies because a lot of Chicanos have fought in many of the wars for this country. They never made a movie about it, but they fought valiantly anyways. Elvis was a loner, yet he was a hero. And I read somewhere that Chicanos have won more Silver Stars and Purple Hearts than any other ethnic group. Maybe Elvis was. I wasn't convinced yet. Elvis was a dancer, a ladies' man, and always won the girl that hated him in the beginning of the movie. He had to be a Latin lover or something. Even Valentino and Sinatra had a little Italian in them. Elvis played guitar like my Uncle Carlos, always hitting the same 4 notes over and over again. But now I think I figured it out. It was probably Colonel Parker's idea to change his cultural identity, since it was just after the big war and the Zoot Suit riots. It wasn't time for a Chicano superstar to be pelvising around on the Ed Sullivan show, especially after church. I think it was just a hoax to convince more people to buy that newspaper. If Elvis really was a Chicano, he wouldn't have settled to die alone in an empty mansion with no familia around, no family around who cared enough to cry. Diego and Sergio, and me and my wife were having a conversation, and so kind of almost felt like an argument. She said that I was not the father of her children. So I wrote this poem. I am not your father. I am not your